Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into round 10 of the 2018 MotoOption Supercross Series live here on Start Your Systems TV. My name is Kellen Brauer, and I welcome you all into Daytona. This is going to be an exciting night of racing coming off the Triple Crown last week at Atlanta, and of course Daytona always being a special event, so we're going to bring you guys some intense action here within the next few hours. Hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy. And I am trying to get to camera one. There we go. But it's Daytona, and this track is very, very unique as it is every year. But this year, it might be the least turning Daytona I've ever seen. There's only about 7 corners or so on the entire track every lap. There's long straightaways, lots of rhythm sections, whoop sections, a couple of really challenging lines. There's obviously 2 wall jumps, which we've seen people do some interesting things on before, and I think we're going to see some really interesting things here tonight as guys are able to kind of send it off the wall jumps and do some unique lines, maybe a little bit unrealistic, but we'll see how that plays out. And it's going to be a great night of racing. Coming up first, just about to load in, going straight into this thing, is going to be 250 heat number 1 of the East Series, back racing the normal format, so heat races again. I believe these guys will go 6 minutes plus 1 lap, top 9, transferring to the main event. And we'll see if anybody's able to dethrone Jack Haley and his red plate. And also see who just does good in this heat race in general. This is just a warm-up lap. We got Edward Mora, James Cohen, Peter Leicht, Tony Spinelli, Caden Speck, Zach Prokop, Phil Bull, Nolan Keckley, Brock Pearson, Devin Davis, William St. Laurent. Tons of guys. We have Jack Haley on the 57. He's your points leader coming into this one, so we'll keep an eye on him. Like I said, though, just a parade lap for these guys. It's going to be real quick. Yeah, we're already restarting. It's usually just to do a lineup check. Make sure everybody is in that needs to be in. And now we are set to go racing at Daytona, jumping right into this thing. See who's got a good line into the first corner. Maybe Phil Bull there on the 40, but it is time to go racing. JLV moonwalks off the track, and let's drop the gate at Daytona. It's a land rush. First corner, 92.57 of Haley's going to squeak around and get the whole shot. 92 let him in, but it looks like he went down, so Haley, using that inside gate pick that he had to his advantage, is going to come away with the whole shot and lead this thing early on from Alex Cunningham, Caden Speck, and Kyler Hockey, who is down with Chase DeSell, last week's winner, on the 38. So that's going to cause a big changeup, but up front, Haley trying to sprint away from Caden Speck, who literally just barrel rolled his way into the corner. A brilliant save by the FCTN Bombers machine. Getting a little bit annoyed that I've downloaded every skin in the skins thread and I'm still missing so many of these skins as Jack Haley front flips across the finish line to complete lap number 1 on to lap number 2. Of course, this is timed, so laps not a huge factor until we get to those white flag laps. But Haley now leads from Cunningham and Thomas Wilcox. We haven't seen Wilcox race much this year on the 159. Behind that, 74 of Craig Richards also coming through as they head into the carrot jumps. It's going to be a tricky section all night long through the moguls and then the carrot jumps. See how people are able to attack that. A lot of guys going far right and quadding into the corner, but the moguls don't set you up very well for it as we've lost Cunningham out of second, and Richards almost got passed up there. 70, or the 16, I should say, Brock Pearson. I don't think he's number 16, or maybe he is. All right, so Brock Pearson on the 16 coming through into 4th here. Battling it out with Richards. These 250Fs going wide, and Pearson slings down the inside, hooks the inside rut, and takes a spot from Richards. Now he's going to try to go after Wilcox for that 2 spot. Wilcox able to go all the way over the Dragon's back. We'll see the 450 guys. Most likely the main line there is to go not only all the way over the Dragon's back, but all the way over the entire section on the way out. They double and then just jump all the way into the corner. Lots of big lines can be done. It's just who is going to do them on this track. These 250Fs not as prone to do the big lines, but they can still hit them from time to time. Here's Haley. He's staying far left in the moguls and going 3-2 into the corner. Wilcox looking for more of a middle line here, going 2-3. Pearson somewhat following. Let's head further back. We got Richards in 4th. DeSalle moved up to 5th. Hillman's there in 6th. Spinelli is in 7th on the 2-smoke. Brett Powers in 8th, and William St. Laurent holds down the 9 spot. Behind that, Owen Hillman just went off the track and back on in 10th. So lost a little bit of time to William St. Laurent. Up and over the wall jump. Everybody using Eduardo Simos' bike on this Mad Cape team. Not too sure why. They all have their own bikes, but William St. Laurent, who is number 36, is using Eduardo Simos' number 80. Brett Powers right in front of him has his ears full of 125 2-smoking as Tony Spinelli holding down that spot right in front of him as they head into the rhythm section towards the finish. 3.5 minutes into this 6-minute plus 1 lap race. And these guys right now are in transfer spot, although one crash and that could change in an instant. And this track, as treacherous as it has been in qualifying, could jump up and bite some of these guys. Ooh, rider down. That's Spinelli on the 125. He is on the deck, getting going, and he is going to hang on to that final transfer spot. Meanwhile, Devin Davis, outside looking in, he is in 10th. He is now going to try to work his way onto the back tire of Spinelli and maybe grab that final transfer spot as Spinelli goes quad all the way into the corner. Davis elects to go 3-1. Those whoops, although pretty straightforward, have seemed to bite a few people in qualifying as well. So that could be a tricky section. Brock Pearson on the 16 was down, so now he is in that final transfer spot. And Devin Davis on the 15 here is closing up. Look at this, like 5 or 6 rider battle right in front of him. And he's actually in the final transfer spot, so somebody fell completely out of it. They must have gone off the track, but we'll stick on board with Davis here, who has got a fantastic battle going in front of him. Spinelli jumped off the track, and Davis thought better of going down the inside there. Road already getting deep in some of these corners at the end, and this is only lap 4. Curious to see how gnarly it gets in the main events tonight. Ooh, Davis getting a little sketchy on the Dragon's back, but pulls it together. Again, holding down that final transfer spot. So Edward Mora is the rider behind him, and he is trying to work his way in. Mora nearly won at Tampa a couple weeks ago, if you remember back. So finished second that night. I'm sure he would not want to miss the main here, but he is up and over the bars, and he was actually about to get the transfer spot as Brett Powers was down with William St. Laurent, and St. Laurent just dragged Powers on the ground. So now Powers will lose that final transfer spot. Instead, that goes to Phil Bull, who has moved into the 9 spot, and he's going to try to close up onto St. Laurent. Mora stayed in 10th despite his crash because of the whole power situation. Bull looking at an inside move on St. Laurent, can't quite get there, and then is going to have to double the Supercross triple. This is going to set up a little bit of an unorthodox line through here, and he is down. So Mora is going to get it easy peasy lemon squeezy as he comes on through and takes that final transfer spot away. Bull going to lose a spot to Powers, and Hockey trying to get into the mix as well, but will not get there. So Bull hangs on to the 11 ride for the time being. And that final transfer spot now occupied by Mora. Let's go back up front. Haley still cruising, still front flipping. He's got a big lead right now on Chase DeSalle, who has now moved into 2nd. Craig Richards is right behind him in 3rd. And DeSalle, little nose heavy into the wall jump. And here is Richards, who is going to get passed by Pearson momentarily. Pearson sent it over him on the wall jump. Oh, Wilcox has Spinelli get up behind him, and now Devin Davis is going to slice on through into that 6 ride. Spinelli going to try to fight back, repping for the 2 strokes out there. Rider down. Is that might be Wilcox? Yes, it is. Wilcox down on the outside of the berm before the triple. St. Laurent had him, but elected not to make the pass and now had to check up and not do the Supercross triple. He lost a big old chunk of time as Haley has now clicked onto the final lap of the race out front. It is still Mora in that final transfer spot. Phil Bull is a little bit of a ways back here in 10th, and Hockey, Powers, Speck, Cunningham, Keckley, Silic, Cohen. All these guys not going to be too thrilled with their race, but who is thrilled with their race, and really his whole championship as it stands right now, is Jack Haley, who has just been front flipping for joy out front this whole race. Third time we've caught him doing front flips out front. And he is the man to beat right now. Was not your winner last week, but able to salvage some good points. He won the first 2 rounds. He's going to front flip over the wall jump and go down. But fortunately for his case, he has got plenty big of a lead to work with here. So he's just going to get himself going. Up over the Dragon's back and down to the finish line. Jack Haley is your winner. Heat number 1 of the 250 East region. Chase Cassell, last week's winner, is in 2nd. He is going to bring this to the line. Richards in 3rd. Pearson 4th, Spinelli 5th, Davis 6th, Wilcox 7th, Mora 8th, and St. Laurent in 9th. And really no challenge going on behind that right now. In fact, St. Laurent might have an opportunity to get Mora here at the line, but he is down, and I think he's going to have just enough time to get going before Caden Speck gets there. Yeah, I actually have plenty of time. I don't know what I was thinking. Thought he was a little bit closer, but St. Laurent's going to get going. 8th place already over the line. St. Laurent just needs to cruise it into the finish line here, and he has got this thing locked up, and there it is. St. Laurent, 9th place going through. Caden Speck, Phil Bull, Alex Cunningham, Brett Powers, Kyler Hockey. All those guys finished on the lead lap, but will not be going to the main event just yet. They'll have to go to that last chance qualifier coming up in a bit. Keckley, Silic, Cohen, Hillman, and Prokop all out as well. But it was Jack Haley cruising to the victory in this one, and he is headed to the main event with either first or second gate pick. We'll have to see. Total race time of 8:44.140. If the second TRT is a little bit faster, that will be first gate pick in the main, but 8:44 was Haley's TRT. I want to take this moment. Well, we've got a quick break on the broadcast loading in the next race to remind you all to please go check out Versus PC, proud sponsor of the Start Your Systems broadcast channel this year. The guys at Versus PC helped me out getting all set up with a good PC and getting it built as well. So I definitely recommend checking them out. If you're just looking for parts, they can also help you out there, or if you just want any ideas on what you should do in terms of computer components, they're a great help, and they have really good PC builds as well. So if you want a whole pre-built PC, definitely check out the guys at versuspc.com for all of your computation needs. Alrighty though, it is now time for 250 East Heat number 2 here at Daytona. Things kicking off well so far. We had a good first race. Seemed like the battling was mostly good. No battle for that last transfer spot, but not the worst thing, I suppose. Gonna have to disco and reco. All right, in this one, we will have Lee Bradley, Noah Baker, Ryan Mahan, Daniel Mills, Clay Alfrey, Ivan Medina, Daniel Batchelor, Josh Williams, Dylan Gatlin, Josh Betts, Jeremy Hinters, Adrian Wilson, Dylan Copeland, Matt Burkeen, and a lot of other guys. But it is time to go racing once again. Heat number 2 of the 250 class is underway, and it's a great start for D. Mills on the 51. 37 of Mahan squeaks down the inside. We got Oliver up in the mix, and I think that's Hubbard on the 278 down the inside, but it's Burkeen who comes away with the whole shot. And you guys on the stream know what that means. He's going to come around turn 2 here with the race lead, and of course, He's going to not front flip the triple. Matt Burkeen breaking his streak of front flipping the triple. That is the first time I have not seen him front flip a triple in the lead of the race since probably about 2014. Incredible. Mahan in second. Batchelot actually is in third on the 378. I thought that was Hubbard, but it's Batchelot. So let's see if Burkeen lets us down on the finish line jump. No, he does not. Now he front flips the finish line. Mahan, Batchelot, Copeland, and that is Lee Bradley side by side. Bradley having to kind of send it in, and Copeland is up and over the berm down, so he's going to lose a chunk of spots. I saw D. Mills and Lang go by, a couple others going through, and Copeland will get back on, maybe even still in a transfer spot. He's going to be close. Speaking of that battle between Lang and Mills, it's a good one, 51 and 71. Splitting sides of the whoops, and Lang is going to go into the Gator pit. Let's see which is faster here. Wow, they actually ended up being pretty even, to be honest with you. Mills hangs tight for now, but Lang is giving him everything he can handle. Might have an inside move as here comes Lang down the inside. And we've got a change for position. Lang makes a nice pass and makes it stick. Mills is going to settle in behind him. Good smooth block pass. Let's head back and find out where the actual last transfer spot is right now. It is Dylan Copeland on that 67 machine. He's going to get around James Ohashi, who is now in the final transfer spot. Adrian Wilson is coming, though. He's going to try to get up there and make that pass. Neil Wells also in the mix with Carson Tickle, former winner in the 250 class. Jeremy Hinders is back here. Josh Williams, Jake Fisher, Josh Betts, Clay Alfrey, Dylan Gatlin, guys that have made mains, definitely struggling back here a little bit. It is still Ohashi in ninth over the line. Track not biting people as much as I thought it would. Guys are going down, but definitely seemed like in qualifying it was going to be a little bit worse. And right now it's mostly good. Hinders battling with Wells back here. Ohashi holding tough. Wilson is trying to sneak into this battle, but he's just a little touch off the pace right now. It's closing up, though. Could be a battle for the final transfer spot brewing here between Adrian Wilson and James Ohashi. Ohashi going table over, or single over table, 3-3, and then jumping into a little crevice there before the wall jump and actually able to gap out Wilson a little bit. In fact, he closed up on Copeland, if anything. So now Copeland has got to be watching his rear mirrors a bit here. Meanwhile, Noah Baker, Tyler Lang, and Lee Bradley are having the duel of a lifetime here, and they're about to have D. Mills in the mix as Baker gets pushed off the track by Bradley. He gets back on in front of Bradley. That was a little bit of a gain in time, I think. Maybe cuts will affect that, but you see Mills there on the 51 just got into this mix because he was down, and now Bradley's down, so Ohashi goes through. And who's going to be the first guy to come through? Bradley is right here on the wall jump, and he is set. How did he still not get past? Finally, Adrian Wilson goes through, and then I think that might have been, it was Josh Betts and then Carson Tickle. So now Wilson goes into the final transfer spot, and Mills went down again. So Ohashi, Baker, Copeland, they're all in a good mix there, and they have now gotten away a little bit as Burkeen is still our race leader 4.5 minutes into this thing. And he's got a little bit of a lead right now to work with, although Mahan, nailing some of the bigger lines there, gets the quad into this corner, is trying to creep up onto him. Oh, we had to change for the lead. Burkeen was down. I didn't even see him. Must have gone off the track, maybe over the berm. But Mahan goes to the front, and Batchelot has momentarily moved into second, swaps all the way through the whoops. Able to just corral the bike, but Burkeen sending it from the moon, lands on his rear tire. Lang also in the mix. Now Copeland is up to 5th. Baker sliding it down in 6th. Mills is 7th. Ohashi 8th. And Wilson is 9th. And he has got 84 of Josh Betts breathing down his neck. This is coming quickly, and Betts has a move made. Yes, he does. He gets that spot. Takes it away. Now Wilson's going to have to fight back here and see what he's able to do. Got to be careful as Carson Tickle is also lurking here. Don't want to fight back and cause himself and Betts both to go down. But he's going to get the spot momentarily. Betts coughs it up. They're coming to the white flag, and Tickle is also going to get around Betts. So Carson Tickle, those of you watching for the first time and have never heard this name before, that is actually Brock Tickle's younger brother, is also a pro racer in real life. So it's good to see Carson back out here racing. And he is going for this pass, but he's going to get the Dragons back a little bit wrong. So for the time being, Wilson survives, but Tickle is still right there, and he is wanting a piece of that savage racing machine. Betts goes down in the background, so it is now down between Tickle and Wilson for this transfer spot. Oh, and Tickle jumps off the track. That might just about do it. Meanwhile, up front, Mahan has crashed by himself. He is going to get going still in the lead, though. And as long as he makes it through this rhythm section, he should be good for the victory here. Up and over the wall jump and down to the finish line. Ryan Mahan comes through, and he is your heat number 2 winner in the East region. Good to see Mahan back on top. Been a little bit as Tyler Lang fights through, gets a 2nd. Batchley gets a 3rd. Copeland 4th. Baker 5th. Burkeen drops all the way to 6th. Mills is now 7th. Wilson's up to 8th, so Ohashi dropped back to 9th. But unless somebody crashes in this last section, which so far looks all good to go here. And yeah, looks like Ohashi is going to make it as well. So Ohashi goes through in 9th. Carson Tickle going to the LCQ along with Lee Bradley, Garrett Oliver, Jake Fisher, Dylan Gatlin, Jeremy Hinners, Clay Alfrey, Ivan Medina, Neil Wells, Josh Williams, who has been a fighting force at the front of the 250 field this year. A couple big names missing out. And James Ohashi, I believe, just made his first main event of his career. So good on you, son. But it was Mahan shining through in this one. Taking that first heat race victory of the season. Mahan, the 2015 MX Simulator Cup champion. Multi-time 450 Supercross race winner. Has struggled of late, but seems like he's got his groove back a little bit and takes the heat race victory here. So good riding out of him. And before we jump into this 450 class coming up in a minute, I'll go ahead and take you guys through tonight's fastest qualifiers in the 450 class. So starting off on top, it was the outdoor specialist himself, Jesse Mullins, fastest time of a 108.8, just edging out Russ Chapman at a 108.9. Those are your top 2. Adam Holm at a 109.8, 1 whole second behind Mullins, is your 3rd fastest qualifier. Leclerc to 109.9, Sean Klein 110 flat, Colton Mitchell 110.1, Jeremy Koenar 110.1 as well. So everybody relatively close in times after Mullins and Chapman, who somehow dropped their times into the 108 range. Everybody else is high 109 on back. And there was no cutoff time this week in the 450 class. There was a cutoff time in the 250 class, unfortunately, so only 4 guys not actually able to make it in after trying to qualify tonight. But this 450 championship race is one that we really need to watch tonight. After last week's shenanigans with Mitchell getting into Mullins late in the race, and neither of them taking the win. That was Seabolt with the victory. But now Mitchell only sits 7 points back of Alexis Leclerc. Leclerc on 192, Mitchell on 185 going into this race. Mullins is 22 points adrift of Leclerc on 170. So he is still in with a fighting chance coming into this home stretch of the series. Still 8 rounds to go, including this one, and it's got a chance, but needs a little bit of a miracle, and maybe Daytona is that miracle he needed to get back into this points chase. Obviously, Mullins, your 3-time and defending outdoor champion, would love to have a good night here in Daytona, but it is time for 450 heat number 1. Lots of single digits on the gate. This is going to be a good one, and only 9 are going to the main event. Let's go racing again in Daytona. Gate is down, and Leclerc, of course, is going to get a good start. Smith in there, and Mullins contact, and Leclerc is down. So it is actually Mullins who got the whole shot, but his teammate Simos was trying to take it from him. Mullins to the lead. Simos is right there, and Smith, who was trying to get down the inside of Simos, goes down. That causes a stack up that includes Leclerc and your defending champion Tyson Fresquez, who has had a dreadful season. So Smith and Leclerc both back here mixed in as Smith jumps off the track. But it is now Mullins leading this thing. And he's going to do the best he can to try to get away and get away early. He's bringing his teammate. Mad Cape teammates. Oh, and Mullins is down, so Simos is going to go to the lead. Mullins, oh, wow, is very fortunate not to get landed on there. He's going to get up in 4th, maybe lose a spot to Hubbard. No, he holds on to 4th. And Leclerc, who was as far back as about 10th, ends up 2nd on the end of the first lap. So, I mean, he was down in that second corner with Fresquez, and Fresquez is 19th. Talk about a change of fortunes. But it is Simos, the Brazilian, leading this thing. Simos has not won a Supercross race since 2012 when he won, I believe, round 5 of the 250 West Championship at Anaheim. It's been pretty quick so far in the 450 class this year. Nice to see him out front leading the heat race. Let's see how he's able to fare against Leclerc. Meanwhile, Mullins has Jake Warden giving him a little bit of fits here. Warden riding strong and has Colton Mitchell also breathing down his neck. Different lines being taken before the Supercross triple. Mitchell going wide, Warden tucking to the inside and trying to hit one of those ruts. Nobody so far is sending it all the way into the corner. The line here seems to be, I think Mitchell's, well, he was about to get it. Let's go over, triple quad into the wall, and then do something gnarly on the wall. Mitchell down the left side of the track, going to get the pass done on Warden. So now it is Mitchell v. Mullins, and this could be your battle for 3rd quickly. All 3 of your championship contenders end up in the same heat race, and they're all also stacked up together on the racetrack. Leclerc, Mullins, Mitchell. And Leclerc is down. What just happened? Your points leader is on the ground, and he is getting past. That is Hubbard going around. So Leclerc drops to 6th. And just when it looked like he had gotten a hold of things, he makes a big mistake. And your leader, Simos, was down too. So that hands the race lead to Mullins. And wouldn't you know it, after the drama last week between these two in the 3rd main event, when Mitchell sent it in deep, took Mullins off the track, took him down, and cruised on by to take 2nd on the evening. These two are now going to end up together on the racetrack for the race lead in their heat race. We'll see how that works out, as Leclerc was trying to send it down the inside deep on Simos, and that did not work out for him. So Hubbard still sticking close by. Smith is also right here in the mix as Hedge jumps off the track. Zaworski is in the final transfer spot. Colby Eagland is a little ways back of him. Reed Young, Logan Leitzel, and Cale Simmerock exchanging positions there. That is for 12th, with 2016 250E Supercross champion Tyler Schmidt right behind them. Heading back out front, it is still Mullins from Mitchell, and that gap, I should say, has stayed pretty consistent. No change there. Simos is now in 3rd, Leclerc fourth as Hubbard sends the wall. Fortunate not to go down. Here comes Smith, though. Smith, 2 years ago, at this exact race, as he makes a nice pass there on Hubbard, had a broken wrist from training for real-life Supercross and raced in the main event. He got it out of the heat race into the main event, one-handed, playing with a joystick in this game. And I'm not talking about like your controller joystick, one of those old-fashioned grab it with your hand joysticks. Made it into the main event in this game, and you may not think that that's that crazy, but to go from playing on a controller to playing one-handed on a joystick and making it into the main event in the toughest field is pretty incredible. Meanwhile, Mullins coughed up the lead. I saw a little bit of action going on, but I didn't think it was Mullins. I thought Simos went off the track. It was Mullins. And we got a stack up of riders here as Leclerc is about to lap one of their teammates. Not sure who that is. Gustavo Diniz on the 191. Mitchell is now leading, though, and he is going to have to deal with Mullins sooner or later because Mullins is going faster. He's also getting that line all the way into the corner that I was talking about, doubling, and then I guess you'd call it a triple. Small single over the Dragon's back all the way, and then look at the lines he's doing all the way up to Mitchell. Now we have a battle for the lead. And this should be a good one. These two not friendly at the moment. We'll just say that much. Oh, Mitchell down, and that destroys the battle we were hoping to have. Mitchell is going to get up in fourth as Leclerc and Simos both go on through. Leclerc trying to get around Simos now to get into that second position. Makes a small mistake. Look at Mitchell going down, though. Oh my, swapped at the end of the whoops and got bucked. So Smith goes on through, and that might just be the damage that's done. So Mitchell went from leading to fifth real quick. And now Leclerc was trying to get an inside move on Simos, but swapped across the track and ended up losing some time, and he actually missed a timing gate, so he's got to be careful not to get cuts there. There he is getting that quad before the wall, then launching into the wall, getting slowed down to land in the other gator pit. So far nobody has dug the pit down deep enough to actually jump the wall. White flag out for Mullins, though, so it's Mullins, Simos second, Leclerc third, Smith fourth, Mitchell fifth, Zaworski sixth, Warden is seventh, Reed Young is eighth, and Hubbard, he has slipped back to ninth, and he's got to worry about Hedge and Eagland coming up here. Those two are lapping Cody Darr right now. Eagland and Hedge wanting to get up to Hubbard, and they're kind of locked together a little bit right now. Could be hoping for a crash as well. Might be better suited for them, and oh, the crash comes out of Hedge. So it's down to Eagland to try to catch Hubbard. Although Warden is down, and Eagland was, I think, down as well, but he gets the pass done. So Eagland into the final transfer spot. Up front real quick, though, it is Jesse Mullins confirmed winning this one. 450 Heat 1 goes to Mullins. Leclerc is going to take second, Smith third, Simos fourth, Mitchell fifth. Zaworski is sixth, but that's not decided yet, as Young is seventh, Hubbard is eighth, and Eagland is ninth. But Eagland looking to get around Hubbard now. Gets the inside move and gets it done. So now Hubbard back on the bubble, and Jake Warden is a-coming, and he's gonna get the spot as Hubbard made a mistake. And does he send it down the inside? Yes, he does. Warden squares him off and gets it done, though. He's sideways, he's getting kicked, and Hubbard sends it back onto the track. It's not over, and here comes Leitzel out of nowhere as Hubbard goes down, and Warden is going to survive as he goes to the main event. Leitzel down before the finish trying to get there. Schmidt ends up 10th. And Hubbard 11th, Leitzel 12th. Hedge crashed before the finish as well. He's 13th. Cimarrock in 14th. Fresquez continues his rough streak. 15th. He's going to have to go out of the LCQ. Moxie in 16th there. Saulnier 17th. Cody Dar 18th. Deniz ended up 19th. And Fowler was 20th. Both rage quit victims there in the back two. Cuts confirm. No change in the top 9, so Mullins remains your heat race winner, and he will take with him potentially the first gate pick to the main event. All right, so coming up next, 450 heat number 2, and we should see none of our championship contenders, interestingly enough. We just saw all of them in the heat race. So our championship contenders have all confirmed made it to the main event tonight. We should see, hopefully, Jeremy Seabolt in this one and Russ Chapman. Adam Holm as well. Like to take this opportunity while we were waiting for this race to load in to give a shout out to MotoOption Clothing. MotoOption, the title sponsor of the MX Simulator Pro Supercross Series for the 7th consecutive year. Been a big help in getting this series to where it is today, and we can't thank them enough. But we also want to urge you guys to please go check them out. Check out their clothing lines, their accessories. They make graphics. They make decals. They make tons of stuff, honestly. They have a whole gamut of stuff at MotoOption Clothing. And they're great guys over there. Got lots of good things to say about them. And like I said, they've been supporting Sim for quite a while now. So support the people that make all this stuff possible and head over to MotoOption today to maybe buy yourself a fancy-dancy t-shirt. Did I time out? I don't think I did. I did. Did I? Must have. Yeah, okay. I don't know what just happened. All right, so 450 heat number 2 on the line. Board is sideways, and it's time to go racing once again. Let's go ahead and drop that gate, the final heat race of the night. Good start for Rose. Good guy picked. Turley's in there, and Cohenauer. They all get munched together, and instead it is going to be Devin Ryan, who seems to get good starts all the time. He comes out with the whole shot. Sean Klein right there behind him ends up tucking in and gets taken down by Dickerson into the second corner. So it's a flurry of guys going on through. And your second fastest qualifier, Chapman, is thinking about going to the lead and thinking about going down super hard as Devin Ryan is going to get back by, and everybody else just trying to funnel through as Chapman is stacked in pretty much the main line right there. So that was a little bit chaotic as Ryan continues to lead from Penwell. Dickerson sent the wall, and Penwell is going to go to the race lead at the end of lap number 1. Whelan, Dickerson, Dupuis, Holm, Kunitz, West, Fry, Chapman. What a train of riders, but it's Cody Penwell, who again is a former 450 class winner. He won the 2014 Budds Creek National in the 450 Pro class. That was the year Leclerc won the outdoor title. But let's see how long he's able to hang on here, because it's not the same Penwell from a couple of years ago as Dickerson is trying to get up on his rear tire to make that pass. And he's going to send the wall. Penwell launches into the Gator Pit and goes down, so Dickerson ends up also going down, and to the lead goes Bryce Whelan, who has had about the most up and down season you can imagine, was the points leader at round 3, then 2 weeks later missed the main event at round 5, and since then has just kind of struggled to even do anything decent. Last week I think he finished outside of the top 10. Dickerson trying a new line out there as he goes quad double and then dragons into the corner. It didn't seem to be that much faster, but If it works for him, it works. Adam Holm, currently 5th in the championship standings coming in, is looking to improve on that as the series moves forward. Dickerson sends the wall and goes down. So Holm, Jake West will go through. Devin Ryan also going through. James Schuler might just get there. Yeah, he will as well. And Sabrina Ritzler is going to end up side by side just about. Interesting. Kind of a lot of people up here that we haven't seen much of this year. Meanwhile, Sean Klein and Russ Chapman, who we've seen a lot of on the 250 West region, both outside a little bit as Ritzler is stacked on top of this little race tech thing on the inside. And that allows Turley to go through, but Turley is off the track. Now ends up near the pit lane, comes back on right next to Billy Kunitz, who sent it past him to get into the final transfer spot. This is your final transfer spot. Billy Kunitz right now, right behind Schuler and ahead of Turley. So it is a cluster and a half with all these guys. Turley trying to get into the mix. 3 different lines used in that corner. How about Kunitz all the way into the corner to make the pass on Schuler and makes it stick as Ritzler goes flying over the berm. And Brina's over the berm. A little throwback. Zach Dupuis and Tyler Fry are the nearest competition, as who is down there? That is Kunitz in between the Dragons back. So that is going to allow Ritzler through into 10th, Dupuis into 11th, and Fry just not going to get there. So 12th and 13th on your screen now, but it is Turley still in that final transfer spot. We'll go on board with Turley, who has one of the more unique riding styles in the game. So this should be chaotic to watch on board here for a minute. 5th gear in the whoops and really never full throttle. Really never even half throttle there. Turley, one of those guys that likes to lug the bike a lot, and he loses the front end here. So here comes Ritzler. There's so much talent in this 450 class. Ritzler, another rider, talked about it earlier in the season, who has a 450 win to her credit. She won the 2012 Indianapolis Supercross 450 race. That was the year Tyson Fresquez claimed the first of his 4 Supercross titles. And he finished 2nd that night at Indy. She is trying to get to Turley. She is very slowly reeling him in, but Turley is also reeling in Jake West, who is down. So Ritzler is going to get that spot. And she has got it pretty comfortably now, as West got up about 4 seconds behind. So let's just reset things for a second here. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Actually, that's Dickerson a lap down? Yeah, so Whelan is all alone out front. Dickerson is a lap down, but Holm is in 2nd. Devin Ryan is in 3rd. Sean Klein has moved up to 4th. Dakota French is in 5th. Russ Chapman is in 6th, but he's maybe going to lose that. Dakota French just crashed by himself as well. So actually, Turley goes by, and Ritzler goes by. Chapman now on the bubble, but Jake West just slid out. So Schuler needs to get up there if he wants to battle. But Chapman is now 9th. He's going to try to run down Brina, who is in 8th. Oh, Chapman, big send on the wall. Lands tough on the Dragon's back, but able to ride out of it. And he's going to quad up into the corner here and get around the outside of Ritzler. Just barely squeaked by. And now he's trying to square off Dakota French, and he's able to do it. And he is all over the track, though, doing it, though. He's a little bit sketchy, but he's able to corral it together. Of course, Chapman, your 2nd fastest qualifier. So he knows the fast way around this track. In fact, it might be interesting on this lap while he tries to go through the field to go on board with him as he lands on Turley. And now he's going to be behind French, so this is actually going to be some good onboard action to see Chapman try to work this one down the left side of the whoops, and he's going to jump into the corner and get back around French. I think French was just letting him have it there. Goes deep inside before this, and then what he's been doing is he goes double here. Then he'll shift up to fourth and jump all the way into the corner, gets it clean. Then he'll go over, and I believe he goes 3-4. Yes, he does. And just gets that. Then wall jump. Gets kicked down, lands nice and smooth. Over the Dragon's back, and oh, whoa, he's up and over the bars. Looped out and ends up facing into the finish line jump. And, oh, I thought he wasn't going to lose a spot for a second. Jake West finally goes through. Now Dakota French is trying to also make that pass, and momentarily he will, but Chapman quadding into the corner, gets it back and goes down. So Ritzler is going to slide through. That puts Chapman on the bubble, and here comes Blakely, who had a really good ride going last week at Atlanta. He wants to get into this main event, but he's got to get another mistake out of Chapman or Ritzler or somebody in this group. West is down again. So West goes to the bubble, but I feel like Chapman is the one who's really riding on the tip of his toes here. He is just all out, sending it into the wall. Somehow does not have a fall-off crash there. Up front, I missed it, but Bryce Whelan takes the win. Devin Ryan is checking it into the rhythm section. Adam Holm gets it, sends the wall, and goes down. So Ryan's going to get back by Turley 4th, Klein 5th, French 6th, Chapman 7th? Yeah, 8th is Ritzler, 9th is West, and Blakely is going to miss out unless a crash out of either of these 2 or maybe 3 riders, as Chapman is still maybe within striking distance. Klein is down. Look at Chapman absolutely send the wall to the downside of the Dragon's back, but he didn't get it. So he's down. Klein is going to go through. There's Ritzler. Here comes West, and Chapman is going to end up 9th, but he is going to the main. After all of that chaos, he still makes it through. Blakely will not go through. Neither will Dupuis or Haskell, Schuler, Penwell, Cohenauer, Kunitz, Fry, Dickerson, Rose, or Josh Mertens. Going through at the front of the field is number 18 machine, Bryce Whelan. Good heat race out of Bryce. I'm a little bummed I don't have his skins, but seems like he may have turned the page a little bit there. Cuts are in, and looks like Turley got around Holm on cuts, and West got around, or I'm sorry, Chapman got around West on cuts, and Dupuis got around Blakely on cuts, but Dupuis still only ends up 10th after that one. So no change in who actually qualified for the main event, just change in who is going to get what gate pick for each individual race coming up, whether it is a heat race or an LCQ. LCQs are coming up next, but in the meantime, while they set that up, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys around this track a little bit. You guys can get a third-person perspective for a moment. Tight first corner. We've already seen lots of crashing here. It's a really, really tight U-turn into a whoop section, which looks easy on the face value, but it's actually got quite a few kickers in it, and as you can see, it bites me there. And also these guys playing with the road, the track deteriorates as the racing goes on, so they will maybe hit a line in that section that they did not feel before, gets dug out a little bit deeper, and suddenly before you know it, they're hitting really deep lines. So these guys are going Supercross triple, double here, and then we saw Chapman jumping all the way into the corner. A couple other guys able to do it as well. And they go over, and then they try to 3-4 here, but I jumped off the track, so my bad. Up over the wall jump. We've been seeing guys hitting this thing pretty hard. And then this Dragon's back has been tricky and bites me a little bit there. Finish line jump. And then we've seen a couple guys able to go quad here. I'm just going to triple to be safe. Sand section isn't changing a whole lot. It hasn't gotten dug out deep. And then guys going 3 and then just jumping as deep as they can into the moguls. And then we're seeing a lot of guys quadding all the way into the corner on this far right side of the track. If they go left, they have to go 3-2. And then this sketchy whoop section has been biting people all night long. Leads you into this section right before the wall, which bit me again. Whoopsie doodles. And then come up through this last gator pit, and then a little switch back across the start straight through the first corner complex again, and that's what it looks like to be on board here, or behind somebody, I should say, at Daytona. Someone who isn't playing the game very well, I should say. All right, coming up next is the 250 and then the 450 LCQs. And these races tonight are going to be brought to you by the fine folks at Racetech Suspension. My good buddy Chris Riesenberg, marketing director at Racetech, normally joins us on these broadcasts but has not been around much this year. He loves these LCQs. It's absolutely chaotic. And if you want to help him out and really just get anything done on your bike that you need, whether it's a suspension rebuild or revalve, or need your oil changed, or you need your engines rebuilt, Racetech is the place to go for that. They help out with a lot of stuff in MX Simulator, and they also help me out here on Start Your Systems. They've been a sponsor of SYS for the past 2 years now, and they've been a big help at growing this channel. And I can't thank Chris and the guys, everybody at Racetech. Met all of them before, been up there a few times. Good guys up there. Definitely would recommend checking them out if you need anything done to your engine or your suspension. Racetech, the science of suspension. All right, 450 LCQ is not coming up. It's a 250 LCQ. But it's still going to be a good LCQ nonetheless. And I timed out again, so my apologies for this. Lots of 250 guys want to be making it through in this one that were not able to make it out of the heat race. So we'll keep an eye out for those big hitters. I don't know what my game is doing right now. We are frozen. What is happening? Something just happened. We're sending... Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I'm sorry about that if I just missed the start of this LCQ. But nope, it's parade lap. Okay, so I did miss the start. I don't know what was happening there. Somebody must have dropped. Usually that's the case when load times are astronomically long like that. So again, this is just a parade lap. This is kind of a lineup check. Make sure that everybody is in that needs to be in. I'm going to take this opportunity to grab a quick beverage. I'll be right back. All right, 250 LCQ parade lap is finishing up. Just want to respond to a quick question I saw in chat. Jeremy Hinters is currently not a part of the actual development of the channel. He is still a part of the SYS team, the SYS racing team in game, and anybody that also can help contribute as part of the SYS team. So he is always free to come back and contribute when he wants, but right now I just gave him the freedom to not feel obligated to contribute to the channel, and it's just me right now. You guys just have to deal with lovable old me and my fresh-faced voice. It's just so lovely to hear over and over and over and over and over. Cracking a cold one for the boys. I should say, I don't know how many of you guys have actually been to a real Supercross in real life. But there's a floor announcer who I've actually met before. He's a really nice guy. His name's Lurch. I forget his actual real name, but everybody knows him as Lurch. Real friendly guy. He has a daughter that he just loves to death. Like, he's a really good dude, but man, some people hate him for how annoying his loud announcing is. You know, he's that guy that if you're listening to it on TV, he's the one screaming before the races, trying to get everybody pumped. And he is, I don't know if it's a part of this whole cracking open a cold one for the boys thing, but he has taken it upon himself to this year. I've been to 3 Supercrosses this year already, and I've heard him at all 3 right before the gate drops, and it's usually a heat race because he saves the coined phrases for the main event, but he says, "Let's make some noise for the boys," and you're just like, come on, Lurch, come on, little much. Like, how about we just keep it to a good old fashioned, like, let's see the gate drop or something like that. Oh man, good stuff. Here we go though. LCQ lining up. Looks like we are all ready to go. And who am I gonna watch on this gate drop? Everybody loves a little bit of Donut MX, so how about we see how Brett Powers fares in the first corner? It is the 250 LCQ from Daytona. Terrible jump from Brett Powers. Instead, it is 96 and 14 getting together in the first corner. That is Williams and Hinters, who both had great starts and both end up on the deck. It is Peter Like from Phil Bull leading though, and Oliver gets stacked up in the corner, and he takes out Bradley. He takes out somebody else, I think maybe Cunningham. Wow, so some heavy hitters buried early on. Only 4 going to the main event out of this one. And oh my, Alex Cunningham went full send. Maybe we have we have a red flag. There's a problem with the LCQ time, and they cannot run the right time without restarting the server. And so they have red flagged this race. And yeah, not sure what we're going to do about this one. Not sure if they're going to have to restart the server or not, but big bummer for these guys who were up front. Peter Light, Garrett Oliver, these guys got great starts, and some of these guys will not see that broadcast because broadcasts will only show up if you have message lines, which, like myself, I have message lines at 0, so you will not see those broadcasts in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Now I think they're getting the memo, and everybody's starting to slow down. And we can run 6-minute 1 lap for the LCQ or restart the server and get 4-minute 1 lap. It looks like most people are saying let's do 6+1. Yeah, I think everybody's just saying whatever. All right, so I guess we're going to re-rack them, and maybe this time Brett Powers will get a better start, and maybe some of our heavy hitters won't fall in the first corner, but it's unfortunate for these guys who had good starts. Kyler Hockey was up front. Peter Like had the whole shot. Like, they're not going to be happy about this one because now we're restarting at the wrong amount of laps. They restarted and it's 8 minutes. So we are going to red flag this again. Not only they doubled the LCQ time, and now they're okay. Here we go. Sorry for all that chaos. The MXS EMF crew taking over this year, not running as smoothly as they had hoped tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Mr. Donut MX on the start though. Maybe he gets a better start, and he is in the middle of the gate, so if he gets a good start, at least we'll see it. But here we go. Time for the 250 LCQ at Daytona, and Powers hits the gate, so that is going to be a no-no for him on the start. Contact going into the first corner with a few riders going down, and Thomas Sillick comes out with the whole shot this time. Cunningham right up there again, so he made amends for the same start essentially. Prokop and Wright in transfer spots, and Peter Lik also had a good start the first time around. He ends up right in the mix as well. Betts, Cohen is not going to get the triple, and Carson Tickle just missed him. And Peter Lik is down, and so is, that might have been Oliver on the MV Films ride back there. So Keckley and Cohen going back and forth in that rhythm lane there, but it is Cunningham leading from Prokop. And Prokop's going to try to square him off here, make that pass. Let's see if he goes to the inside. Yes, he does. Dives it in deep and takes him down for the lead of the LCQ. Didn't need to do it, but to each their own, I suppose. So Prokop to the lead. Silic now back to second. And Keckley in third. Betts in fourth. Wright, Tickle, Cunningham, Bull, Fisher, Hockey, Medina, and Hinners, Hillman, and Cohen kind of bringing up the rear. Brett Powers is in about 14th right now, so he'll need some luck. He's trying to get around Cohen. I mean, it's not completely out of the question because Betts is in second, and there is an absolute freight train behind him. In fact, I want to go back towards the back of this freight train, go on board with somebody. Let's go on board with Silic. He's got quite a few guys in front of him, and just as I say that, he gets hung up. So maybe Spec, or now Powers. Let's go on board with Powers. Powers is right behind a couple guys battling for position, but you can see on the track map on the right-hand corner of your screen, it's all fairly close still. In fact, Powers just moved into 8th here. It's right behind Hinners, and second just went over the finish line. You'll see how close these guys are. They're coming over the finish line right now. So it is still pretty close. Powers coming over hard on Hinners. Takes him wide. So now Hinners right behind Powers as we go into the moguls. And there's a stack up at the end of this one, so rider down. Hinners sending it in deep. And here's a 4-rider train. There's fourth place just went over the wall, and Powers just able to avoid a rider going across the track and down right now. And now Hinners is trying to squeak back down the inside. Let's see. And he is able to get that spot on Powers. So 6th and 7th on your screen. And they are still 6th and 7th. I thought somebody may have been down. Both these guys have been in the main events earlier this year. They are trying to catch Bull and Fisher. Fisher is in your final transfer spot right now. He's running some really good Roxon gear, but he's down. So Hinners and Powers both going to squeak on by. In fact, Powers might get a pass on Hinners here. It's close. They're still side by side. They've been locked together this whole lap, it seems. Now they are 5th and 6th. This could end up being your battle for the final transfer spot, so obviously they're not wanting to give each other an inch here. And Hinners, for the time being, is going to hang on to the spot. But the spot that they both are going for is occupied by Phil Bull, and Hinners and Powers end up getting together in the background. I couldn't see what exactly happened. I just saw they went down together. So Powers ends up in 5th still, but he's got Cohen and Jake Fisher now closing in on him. Oh man, Fisher sending it in the whoops. Back and forth across the whoops. Looks like Bull was able to get away a little bit, but now Cunningham is in that final transfer spot, so we got to change there. This is not for your transfer spot at the moment, but Powers is riding like it is. Oh, and Cohen, I'm sorry, that was Fisher, who ended up flipping out there a little bit. Powers has got to go. He's got to get to this group. It is Prokop, Betts, Bull, and Cunningham. And right now, Bull and Cunningham are riding mistake-free. And I'll tell you what's helping Powers right now is that this race is 6 minutes plus 1 lap. It should normally be 4 minutes plus 1 lap. And if that was the case, we would be going onto the white flag right now. And Cunningham would just have to hang on for this lap. But I think they might have to go another 2 laps after this one even, because I think Prokop, well, it'll be close to see if Prokop gets back there before 6 minutes. But either way, that is definitely opening the door for more guys to get up there and battle as this race develops. Oh, Powers is down. Oh, he crossed across the whoops. Had a big swap, and he has gone down. So Cohen goes through, Hinders goes through, and Fisher is way back there. So it's really... It's Cohen, Hinders, Gatlin, and Powers. They are all outside looking in, and they want to get to Cunningham. And up front, Prokop did not make it to the line in time, so it is going to be 1 to go. These guys need a mistake out of Cunningham. I don't think Phil Bull's going to be the one to do it. Oh, Cunningham almost up and over the bars. He makes 2 big mistakes right there. If anything, these guys are starting to catch him a little bit, and Hinders is pushing Cohen into this mix. James Cohen, also a former professional real-life racer. Oh, Hinders up and over the bars. And down, so that might spell the end of it for him, but Cohen is still in this thing, and he is trying to make, I believe, the first main event of his career. And just when I said Phil Bull wasn't going to be the one to throw it, he ends up going down, and now this could be interesting to say the least. It is Prokop comfortably leading from Betts, Bull, and Cunningham, but these guys, man, everybody keeps crashing back here. Now Cohen went down again. So Hinders, Powers, and Gatlin, all 3 look plenty fast to get to Cunningham, but they're going to run out of time because they keep crashing, and Cunningham is able to keep it on 2 wheels these last few laps. Meanwhile, Phil Bull and Josh Betts are not necessarily done disputing second here. They don't need it, though. So we'll keep an eye on Cunningham as Prokop is about to take the race victory. And there it is, Prokop with the victory. Cunningham has got to make it through this last section. And he looks to be good to the wall, so he's just got to get the Dragons back. Gatlin would be the one to capitalize. Cunningham is going to do it. What just happened? Who missed? Oh, no, Cunningham ended up going over the finish line. Okay, so it didn't register for a second. Gatlin outside misses the main along with Powers, Hinders, Cohen, Wells, Keckley, Fisher, Speck, Tickle, lots of rage quits. Williams, Silic, Like, Hockey, Medina. This is the record for rage quits in a race. Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rage quits this race. Neil Wells might be 14 here. 13 guys are not going to finish this race. So Wells will be the last one to finish, I believe. Yep. Wow. Cuts are in, doesn't change anything. It's still Prokop, Bull, Betts, and Cunningham going through. Just like to point out that looking at the numbers on the left-hand side of my eyeballs here, we have just barely, but we did it momentarily. But we did surpass our all-time record for live viewers on a Start Your Systems MX Simulator broadcast. We are currently at exactly 290, but when I just looked, we were actually at 293, which is the record. 290 was our previous record. Anaheim won 2017. Yeah, Anaheim won 2017 was our previous record, 290. And we just, currently looking at it right now, we are at 291. So thank you guys to all you guys watching on YouTube or Twitch. You guys are the real MVP. Oh man, speaking of real MVP though, I think this 450 LCQ is about to be gnarly. We have two of the winningest Supercross riders of all time, and Tyson Fresquez and Brian Haskell lining up in this one. And we've got a whole lot of other guys that want to be in the mix. Tyler Schmidt is going to get a good start in this one for sure. Your 2016 250 East champion. Most valuable pleb. All right. So, parade lap, I believe? Yeah. Sorry, parade lap. So in this one, Tyler Schmidt, like I said, going to get good starts. Fresquez, Tyler Fry, Chase Blakely, who had a good Atlanta. He is going to want to make it in out of this one. Mertens, Cohenauer. Cohenauer actually won a main event in Atlanta, one of the three. Dar, Haskell, Hedge, Dickerson, Dupuis, Hubbard, Schmidt. There are a lot of former champions in this race. Yikes. All right, I'm going to take a look at Schmidt. He is all the way down the inside, but he seems to get good starts, and that usually means that we should watch him on the start because he's probably going to come out with the lead. But here we go. Only 4 going and a lot on the line. It is 450 LCQ action from Daytona. And it's actually Fresquez who gets to the corner first, but Dupuis also in the mix, and so is Schmidt. Here comes Cohenauer. Fresquez shuts the door, and oh, Dupuis into the back of Cohenauer causes a big stack up. So Fresquez takes the lead from Blakely, Haskell, and Cohenauer down again. Schmidt was also down, and Dickerson just got hit from behind on the triple. It looks like he maybe wasn't going to clear it there as Cimaroc lands on him. So it's chaos early as Fresquez did exactly what he needed to do. Your 4-time and defending champion gets the whole shot. And Fresquez is hoping that this isn't the first Supercross season that he is not going to win a race in. Trying to remember back. Won in 15s, or no, he did not win in 15. So he hasn't, the last time he did not win a Supercross race in a season, I believe, was 2015. Could be wrong in that. But so far, no wins in this season, and he just got straight up passed by Chase Blakely, who ripped around that corner to make that pass. Billy Kunitz is going down out of third, so that's going to hand Mertens. Not third. Wow, that was a save and a half, but he ends up sideways in the track. So there goes Dupuis, and there's Haskell as Mertens backflips the wall, lands on his rear fender, and somehow does not go down. So now Kunitz is behind Dupuis, but in the final transfer spot at the for the time being. He's going to try to hold off 2-time Supercross champion Brian Haskell there on the 94. Mentioned the 2 winningest Supercross riders are in this race. Well, they're capping the top 4 at the moment. Right now, well, I should say they were capping because Fresquez was leading, but he's now second. Fresquez is the winningest Supercross rider of all time in MX Simulator history. Haskell is the second winningest rider of all time. And he is trying to get through into this main event. But Kunitz, so far, riding good. In fact, he might actually have an opportunity to get Dupuis back here, although he's working himself into a nice and tidy little SYS sandwich here. Someone's down in this corner. Just heard a bike revving low. It's Fresquez. And Fresquez gets passed by both of them to go into the final transfer spot. So now it's between Haskell and Fresquez for the final transfer spot. These guys were battling for a championship in 2011. And now they're battling for the final transfer spot as Haskell went full send on the wall. But Fresquez able to get him back. Haskell thinking better of it. Kunitz did get around Dupuis as well, so now Fresquez is in the SYS sandwich. And Kunitz is getting away from Dupuis. This is an impressive ride out of Billy Kunitz. But Fresquez is not where he wants to be at the moment. He's in a transfer spot, but he'd prefer to get around Dupuy if he can. These are 3 former 450 champions battling it out. Dupuy, 2013 450 national champion. Fresquez, 4-time Supercross champion and 2012 national champion. And Haskell, 2010 and 11 Supercross champion. So can Fresquez get to Dupuy? Meanwhile, Kunitz, I think, just went over the bars. Yes, he did. Fresquez trying to send it down the inside of Dupuy, ends up sliding out, so Haskell goes around Kunitz. And here comes Logan Leitzel, who, in all honesty, is probably going faster than all these guys, and he's bringing Kohenauer with him behind. And, oh, is that Haskell? Yes, it is. Haskell down on the deck. Just as he got the final transfer spot, he has coughed it up. And that gives it back to Kunitz for the time being. But Leitzel is going to want a piece of this. Let's go on board with Kohenauer, who's going to have a great view of this from 6th. Talking about Kohenauer making it through last week to pick up his first career main event victory. Oh, and Fresquez is down! Fresquez goes down, and this is going to change the battle for the last transfer spot to Kohenauer versus Leitzel, with neither Fresquez nor Haskell making it through right now. Kohenauer full send on the wall. Somehow didn't go down, but then goes down on the Dragon's back. Suspension in this game is so interesting sometimes. So now Simrock and Fry go through, but they're now 5th and 6th. Fresquez is 7th. Haskell is 8th. Kohenauer is going to get going in 9th. So he's still in with a shot, but it is more or less down between these 4 and maybe getting to Leitzel or Kunitz, because it's Chase Blakely who's got this thing by the throat, and he is going to get back to the line before 6 minutes, I believe. So we're going to have 2 laps to go next time by. Dupuy modestly alone in 2nd. Kunitz is still pretty close. Leitzel in 4th, and then a gap to Simrock, Fresquez, Fry, Kohenauer, and Haskell has called it an evening. Oh, and I just got a message in our team chat that apparently Brian Haskell's PC just completely shut off. So that was not a rage quit. And yeah, Blakely did not make it back to the line in time. So 2 laps to go, which is not what these guys were hoping for. That just opens up the door for more opportunities for them to crash out of a transfer spot. And Billy Kunitz is once again applying pressure to Zach Dupuy for position here. Both of them sending over the Gator pit. Oh, Kunitz, big mistake. Able to corral it, and we have lost Leitzel somewhere, so Simrock goes to the final transfer spot. But now it is up to Fresquez, who is in danger up, and just as I say that, Simrock goes down. But I was about to say, Fresquez is in danger of straight up missing a 450 main event. I'll tell you, folks, I don't know what is up with Fresquez this year. I think I'll spend this week getting to the bottom of it, but this is definitely not the same Fresquez we've seen before. The 2012, 2014, or 2016-ish Fresquez. Because 2017 and 2015, I feel like he more or less wasn't the best rider, but got gifted with other stuff. 2016, he was railing, as he was in 12. Or not 2015, I'm sorry. 2013. But that Fresquez of those days would definitely be able to take it to these guys. And right now it is just not going his way. But he is in a transfer spot. He's got to hold off Leitzel. Oh, Leitzel makes a mistake. So Fresquez gets some breathing room. Talking about breathing room, we haven't seen much of this guy because he has killed it out front. Chase Blakely got a good start, took the early race lead, and pretty much turned on cruise control. And just as I say that, almost crashes before the finish, but it's Chase Blakely takes the win in the LCQ. Billy Kunitz is going to go down before the line, so Dupuis might get to him, although Dupuis taking it awful easy, and then gets into Kunitz, who puts Kunitz on the deck, so Fresquez is going to go through, and Leitzel, if he had just stayed up, would have gotten that transfer spot. Kunitz is fortunate that Leitzel had the problems that he did, but Kunitz is going to the main event. Leitzel misses out. Kohenauer, who won a main event last week in the Triple Crown, is going to miss the main at Daytona. I can't believe that. Tyler Fry, Simmerock, Saulnier, Haskell, we saw Hedge, Dickerson, Schmidt, Penwell, Schuler, Hubbard, Mertens, Dar. Only 18 guys started this one, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys not finish. So half the field didn't finish this race. I'm sorry, 10. So more than half the guys did not finish this race, and we're only waiting on Saulnier now. Saulnier with the sweet underflip, though, entertaining the audience. And then nice Superman off the side of the bike. This is what we like to call the classic one-leg pickup. And Saulnier coming down to the line should finish this thing off. Sends it off the track, and down he goes again. Nice Superman. And to the line we go. It's Saulnier over the line, and wow, Kohenauer, I'm sorry, Leitzel had lots of cuts. 7 seconds of them. And everything else stayed the same. Blakely, Dupuis, Fresquez, Kunitz to the main. Interesting. But now it is time for the 250 main event from Daytona. So if you're just tuning in, we have just wrapped up the 450 last chance qualifier, and we are about to go to the 250 main events. It seems like they're having a tiny bit of scripting issues, so I think this one's running a tad longer tonight. But regardless, we will make this work. I want to take this quick and easy opportunity to remind you guys again, this broadcast would not be possible without Versus PC. Please just go to versuspc.com and check out their parts. If you need something to upgrade your PC with, they can help you out today. And they helped me out huge coming through, making this broadcast look tip-top-a-roos for you guys. This thing would not look pristine, and really I wouldn't be able to do it as well without the help of Versus PC. So big shout out to them. Huge thanks for coming on board. And yeah, Versus PC. Timed out. Yes, I did. Okay. All right. Parade lap is out there. Tonight in the 250 main event at Daytona, we have got Chase DeSalle, Zach Prokop, Ryan Mahan, and a bunch of people I will not get to because it is time to go racing. Daytona, the world center of speed. And it is about to bring intense action for 15 minutes plus a lap for round number 4 of the 250 East Championship. Jack Haley has a good gate here on the inside. We saw him win his heat race. It is time to go, though, in Daytona. The revs are up. JLV is off the racetrack. And the 250 main event at Daytona is underway as the gate is down, and Haley gets a great jump, and he leads them deep into the first corner, but gets hit by DeSalle, and it's actually going to be Batchelett with the whole shot on the 378. Pearson is second, Copeland in third, and Spinelli had a great start, but he sends it off the side of the track on his 125. So let's reset things with Batchelett leading this thing. And a whole chaos going on behind him. I think I just saw William St. Laurent go down on the Mad Cape ride. Batchelett from Pearson. Copeland with a good start is going to maybe, yes he will, move into second. And Mahan, your heat race winner, is also up in the mix. Oh man, Pearson getting some huckabuck going up the Dragon's back. And so Mahan's going to pull alongside. Dooley's over the finish line jump. DeSalle, Richards. Oh, DeSalle going down. So lots of riders are going to split him. Bummer for DeSalle, who, despite getting into Haley in the first corner, had a good start, and he is down again and off the bike. Where is Haley for that matter? Here he is. 16th spot for Jack Haley, your points leader. In fact, I'm going to go on board with him just for a minute here, because being in 16th place at the end of the first lap, there is chaos to be seen. He's trying to get around Devin Davis here on the 15 machine. He's going to go down the right side. There's some guys down going into the Gator pit, so Haley's going to make 4 or 5 passes there, honestly. Goes from 16th to 13th, so actually 3 passes. Next up looks like maybe that's Copeland up ahead, or maybe Daniel Mills on the 51. I mean, it's actually Mills and Burkeen on the 8. And they both get together and go down, so Haley gets another couple of spots. Oh, Haley, big send. Trying to make up as much time as he can. I mean, he is already creeping up towards the top 10 here, and the leader is not that far out in front. In fact, I think the leader just went down as St. Laurent and Spinelli throw dualies opposite of each other. And Haley's just waiting for his opportunity to pounce on these guys. Spinelli cuts back underneath on the 125. Haley's trying to go around the outside, cuts back underneath. Let's see what he does to this section. He's been going far left, so he can go 3 and then 2 into the corner, and it's going to work because he's going to get a couple more spots, and now he's going to go down the right side of Spinelli in the whoops, and he's up to 8th. And I saw a couple guys off the track and one rider down, so he's going to go to 7th. And just like that, you've seen Jack Haley make 9 passes as Richards is sideways, Copeland goes on through, and a change to the lead did happen. Zach Prokop is leading Ryan Mahan, and that just changed again as Mahan now goes to the front. So Mahan takes the lead. Mora goes to second. Prokop is down with Batchelett in third. And Haley, are you kidding me? Just went to 4th. 4th spot for Haley. 3 minutes into this thing. 3.5 minutes in, Haley has gone from 16th to 4th. One thing I've always said about Jack Haley is his smooth style has helped him so well, and it seems to be working so good on this 250F. He's mostly been a 450 rider most of his career, and the story with him, as I know it, is he actually doesn't really know much about motocross, but he was actually playing another game, I believe Counter-Strike, with Jeremy Shipley and a couple other guys one day, and they introduced him to MX Simulator. Lo and behold, they may have found a gem hidden beneath the surface. Oh, but Haley is down! And he's going to lose a couple spots, although Batchelett went down as well, and Haley's going to get going in front of Lang, so he's already back up and running in 6th here. He didn't lose too many spots. Meanwhile, Prokop and Richards are duking it out. Richards, the Australian. Prokop, American. see a couple comments on these videos on YouTube lately that people were wondering, is this staged or is this real riders? This is all real people. Craig Richards actually used to race, I don't believe it's ever professionally, but he was a really good BMX racer in Australia. And he gets passed by Pro Cop, but gets around Copeland, who was down, and Haley also got him as well. So Mahan and Mora are duking it out for the lead. Oh, Mora, big mistake. Gonna lose some time. Mahan able to send the wall and opens up a little bit of a gap. Pro Cop up to third with that mistake from from Copeland. So that puts Haley in fifth. I'm sorry. It wasn't Shipley, it was Roy Mitchell that found Jack Haley. Good old Roy. Good to see the one and only big Asian guy joining us in chat tonight. For those of you that don't know, Roy and I share the lovable same distinction of being on the MX Simulator of Nations USA team in 2012, in which we finished fourth and honestly crapped the bed. Meanwhile, up front, though, this battle is still brewing because Mora has not lost sight of Mahan, and despite sending the quad into the corner, was not able to gain too much time there. So Mahan riding the best I've seen him ride all year. He has found a little bit of that old magic he had from battling with Fresquez for the championship a few years ago in the 450 class, winning all three main events of the MX Simulator Cup in 2015, winning the biggest prize pool we've ever seen in MX Simulator. Oh, here we go. Haley is going to try to square up Richards here. Let's see. Richards just gives it to him, it looks like. Not wanting to drive it in deep and lose a position, so Haley goes through into third. 12 seconds down. And if there's anything that Haley's doing right, it is just taking what's given to him. Lots of guys going down. He was taking lines that not many people were taking there on the first couple laps, and he was able to make several passes because of it. And that is going to help out huge championship-wise. Oh, Pro Cop down. He's going to lose a spot. He was battling with Copeland, and I think he lost a spot to St. Laurent. Yes, he did. So here comes Davis and Tyler Lang and Daniel Mills. Everybody's all kind of stacked together. It might be about time to do a fancy-dancy run through the field. When I get the opportunity, when we get to the other side of the track, I will certainly do that. So Mahan leading this thing, and he is now gapped what is now Jack Haley because we've lost Mora from second, so Haley has moved into the 2 spot, and Mahan is up front trying to get away. This is your 2 heat race winners that are going to have a little bit of a cat and mouse war here for who's going to win tonight. Question in chat was how much was the pool for the Sim Cup? Again, I didn't actually stream or race that one. It was one of the few I didn't, so I don't remember it specifically, but I want to say he won $115. It was somewhere in that range for Mahan winning the Sim Cup. Oh, I thought he went down. All right, so there is Mahan going through into the lead. I'm going to get the camera a little bit closer because it zoomed out quite a bit. So Mahan through into the lead. This is Richards in third on the 74 coming into your screen. Fourth now Mora as he has gone backwards on the 26. Then fifth is Pro Cop. Sixth is Copeland. Seventh Tyler Lang on the 71. Eighth coming through is 51 Daniel Mills. Ninth for William St. Laurent on the 80, but he's actually number 36. 10th for Devin Davis on the 15. 11th for Chase DeSalle, last week's winner on the 38. It looks like he just about lit up Devin Davis there. Sounds like he did, honestly. Phil Bull is 12th on the 40. Oh, no, he went down by himself. 159 of Wilcox is 13th. 266. I forget the name. Richardson is 14th. 15th for Spinelli. No, Cunningham is 14th. Spinelli 15th. Batchlett 16th. 17th for Pearson. And 18th would have been Baker, but your leader, Mahan, is now coming through. That's been a lap through the field at Daytona. I always miss Moto A Go-Go in the booth. And Edward Mora is lapping Matt Burkeen, and it caused him to go down, so Prokop is going to go back by. Ever so slightly. 10, almost 11 minutes into this 15-minute plus one lap race, and ever so slightly, Jack Haley is creeping up on Mahan. 6 seconds is the gap. He ran a 13.8 last time through. Outrider's down on the other side of the wall. Nope, actually it's a rage quitter. Haley 14.1 to a 15.4 for Mahan, and Mahan is down! He crashes all by himself with the lead, blows the rut, and Haley is going to inherit the race lead. Oh, Mahan's got to be kicking himself for that one. It was not a foregone conclusion that he was going to win that race, but Mahan looked awful good. And now he has got to go to work to get Haley, who has just had an incredible run through the field. Came from all the way down in 16th when we first saw him. He could have been deeper than that, but 16th when we first saw him on the first lap, to now taking over the race lead on lap 10. Almost 12 minutes into this thing. Wow, Mahan, and he's down again. Loses the rear end on entry, slides over the rut, and the front end catches, and down he goes, smashes his head on the deck, and that causes a fall-off crash. So now Richards is going to actually be creeping into the picture on Mahan a little bit more than Mahan on Haley. Mora gets around Pearson, who's a lap down. Prokop now in 5th and dealing with a ton of lap traffic as Tyler Lang is trying to creep up to him. Oh, Lang. Oh, I thought he was going to go down. Saved it, but Mora was down, and now Prokop is down, and Pearson runs into both of them. Now they get going side by side, and Lang is going to mess up the rhythm section. So Mora is right in front of Prokop here. Lang is also right there, and now Daniel Mills has creeped into the picture. Daniel Mills won this race last year. 250 East Daytona main event last year in 2017 went to Daniel Mills. I finished 4th in that race. Lang lapping 84 of Betts, and Mills getting up onto the rear tire of Betts as well. How about this battle between Mora and Prokop? Prokop definitely having his best ride of the season. I just saw D. Mills up and over the berm in the background. Oh, and Prokop goes down just as he inherited the spot from Mora, who had OJ'd the wall jump. So now Lang gets a twofer. And neither of these guys are that close to your leaders right now. Not really even any real close battling going on all through the top 10. Looks like St. Laurent and DeSalle just came together. Oh, DeSalle. Opposite side of the track. Gonna jump back on behind your race leader, Haley. And then take Haley out. Chase DeSalle and Noah Baker come together, and Haley is on the ground. What in the world just happened right there? Haley is going to get up with the race lead still, but it is significantly smaller. Now it's almost non-existent as Mahan coming into the picture here. That was an interesting turn of events. But Mahan now back in it with a shot. And honestly, if both of them have a big mistake, Richard is not out of this. And Mahan able to get the big line into the corner. So really, he is keeping this thing close. 15-minute mark just passed. So white flag is coming out this time by. And your two race leaders are set for an epic duel as Mahan almost goes up and over the bars right there. Oh, Pearson. Oh, Pearson move. Pearson move. Get out of the way, Pearson. Oh, Mahan down. It's not over, though. There is, well, now there's lappers everywhere in front of Mahan. Yeah, they are just all over the place. Haley able to avoid all that. Through the whoops. Haley's looking comfortable out front at this point, but you never know. Mahan is trying to keep it close, but the lappers, there's so many of them, and he just is trying to get around them, and they're trying to battle with each other. I just saw St. Laurent block past Noah Baker in the background, and they're still going at it behind that. But meanwhile, up front, somehow, some way, from 16th on the opening lap, all the way to first, and he survives. Jack Haley picks up his third win of the season here in Daytona, a front flip to boot, and extends his championship points lead. Ryan Mahan will be disappointed, but not surprised. No, I'm kidding, but Mahan obviously probably thought he could win that race out front, so I'm sure he's not going to be too thrilled with maybe blowing a win, but at least a second place is a good start for him after a rough season this year. Richards ends up on the podium. Lang is trying to hold off Prokop to the line, and he will do that. Prokop ends up in 5th behind Lang in 4th. Mora is down with Pearson, who has just kind of been in the way on this last lap, and that almost opened the door for Copeland on the last little stretch there. Davis is just going to beat Mills to the line for 8th, and then Wilcox, Bull, and Spinelli are all battling, but Wilcox is down. So now it's between Bull and Spinelli. Spinelli is trying to get a 125 into the top 10 at Daytona. And he's got to try to get Bull. He's going to send the wall. Oh, he's down. Oh, full send mode, but good try. Phil Bull ends up in 10th. Spinelli is going to end up 11th, as Wilcox trying to get around him went down on the wall as well. So Wilcox will get 12th. He's the last guy on the lead lap. And Wilcox just waiting there. DeSalle 13th, Baker 14th, 15th for St. Laurent, 16th for Cunningham, 17th for Batchelor, 18th for Betts, 19th for Keene, 20th Ohashi, 21st for Pearson, and 22nd for Wilson, who did not finish that main event. Looks like Davis lost a spot to Daniel Mills on cuts, and that was it. Jack Haley, your winner, 250 main event at Daytona. Woo! Alrighty, so it is coming up, the final race of the night, and maybe our most dramatic race. We saw the drama last week between Mitchell and Mullins, and we saw the drama on the forums earlier this week between Mullins and Leclerc. For those of you that don't know, there is a concurrent European series that runs alongside, our North America series. Uses the same tracks, it's just on a different day, and Mullins and Leclerc both race that series as well. There's an incident where Leclerc was protested for a very aggressive block pass on Adam Holm, but received absolutely no penalty for it, and Hunter Root protested Jesse Mullins for an aggressive block pass Mullins had put on Root. There was a penalty applied there. There was a warning and probation, I believe, given out to Mullins, and he was also penalized one position I believe it gave the spot back to Root after everything was sorted. And yeah, that caused a bit of a stir on the forums because a lot of people are deeming some favoritism towards Leclerc. Our MXS EMF hosts are French, and Leclerc also, of course, being from France. People not too thrilled with that, and I know Mullins is along that line as well. So there was some drama between those two, and I don't believe it's going to be sorted all year long. And Mullins looks like he might be the best guy tonight here at Daytona, so if he comes out firing, this could be a very interesting main event. But 20 minutes plus 1 lap are about to be unleashed on quite the racetrack here tonight. We are going to watch Mitchell on the start, but it is time for the Daytona Supercross. Round 10 of the MotoOption clothing season is underway. Mitchell, good start. Lots of chaos on the inside. I think Mullins maybe went down. I saw Turley ended up sideways on the track, and the whole shot goes to Whelan. Oh my, this is going to be interesting. Smith is second, Klein in third, Chapman in fourth, Fresquez in fifth with Leclerc right behind him. We got French, Warden, Dupuis, West, Turley, Blakely, Zaworski, and then Mitchell, who is second in the championship. Young, Holm, Eagland, and then Mullins, who is almost last. There are about 4 guys behind him, and I think that was some of the first, like right off the gate. They're about 3 feet off the gate, and it all just started kicking off. But Bryce Whelan leads the first lap here, and he's going to try to get away, but coming with him, Klein, Smith. Smith has won this race before. Chapman, who has had a great season all year long, 250 West, is undefeated. He won a 450 main event as well. A couple guys that have seen a lot of each other in the previous years. Fresquez and Leclerc squaring off back here as well. Oh, riders down. That's Smith and Chapman down. And so Leclerc gets on through. Now Chapman tucking in behind Leclerc as Fresquez, Leclerc, and Chapman all on your screen here. 1-7 and 29. Chapman sending it down the inside. Thought he was going to have a wheel on Leclerc there, but ended up not electing to go there. Now Leclerc trying to show a wheel to Fresquez and nearly jumps off the track. In fact, he did, but was able to corral it in time to only clip the bales once. Fresquez gets the big line into the corner, as does Chapman, and Chapman makes the pass. Fresquez went off the track. So that resets that a little bit because Leclerc didn't lose a spot necessarily, but Chapman gained 2. And now coming to the line, they are side by side. And Chapman able to hang on as dualies, and oh, Leclerc down. Chapman rides out of it, and here comes a lot of guys through. There's a big pack, and I think that was Mitchell that went through on the 6 on the left-hand side of your screen. Mullins still 18th for anybody who wants to know where he is, and yeah, Mitchell did go through with Turley in that mix. So it is Whelan, Klein, and then a cluster, including Fresquez and Chapman. Wow, what a move. Chapman quadded in, but Fresquez read him like a book and squared up underneath. Look at this train, including Jake Warden, as, oh, Mitchell's going to get into the back of Warden, who faced the takeoff of the wall jump, and now everybody's getting around Chapman, who went down as well. Wow. So Fresquez, Blakely, Turley, Warden, Chapman gets up in front of Mitchell, Young, Smith, Simos, Ryan, Leclerc. Leclerc's lost a ton of spots. Adam Holm is right there with him. Devin Ryan just went down, and then Mullins right behind Zaworski here. So actually, Leclerc is not too far ahead of Mullins, and we know the drama between them two. But how about it for Colton Mitchell? He is actually in a pretty good spot to maybe get some good points on Leclerc tonight. Only 7 down entering the evening. And we could see a new points leader after tonight if Mitchell's able to convert this into a good finish. Especially with all the chaos going on up front. Meanwhile, we have had a change for the race lead. Sean Klein is now out front. And boy, wouldn't that be something if Klein is unable to pick up his first career win on the West 250 region, but comes out and gets his first 450 win at Daytona. I know Sean Klein's an outdoors guy, but didn't pick him as a winner here tonight. But right now he is looking good. Also looking good is Turley, who's up in the 4th spot. Fresquez has seemed to have found a little bit of his old mojo as he is sitting in 3rd and looking strong early. Chapman 5th, Blakely right behind him in 6th, and Mitchell 7th with Warden right in the mix. And then Smith, after that early crash, Reed Young is also there. Mullins has gotten around Leclerc, and we did not see what happened, although it seems like nothing happened because they're both still pretty close together. You would think if Mullins wanted to send him, he would have. So right now, the 2 guys that need to gain points in the championship on Leclerc are doing exactly that. Leclerc's kryptonite appears to be Daytona, and Mullins, I think, is going only uphill from here. We are only 5 minutes into this main event. We have 15 minutes to go, plus a lap, and Mullins is making passes. Mitchell is down. Whoops-a-daisies. Mitchell down, upside down in the corner, gets going right in front of Leclerc, and Leclerc goes down. Boy, oh boy, that makes me nervous. If Leclerc protests that, could be deemed an unsafe track wrench, although Mitchell was just getting going. Oh, getting confirmation in chat that apparently Mullins sent Leclerc over a berm, but Leclerc, being Gumby that he is, stayed up. Oh, Mitchell trying to get a line on Holm. Holmes going deep into the corner, but Mitchell got him. Was able to get the 3 into the corner and kept that position. Now Holm back to the inside, might get it back. Side by side, almost contact in the air. And Mitchell, for now, holds on to that spot. Neither of them doing the big line into the corner either. Oh, man. Okay, so it is Klein leading this thing. Got to talk about him a little bit because he is riding really strong. He has been unfazed by all this chaos going on behind him. And so far, so good. He is putting on a good show out front. And Whelan is losing touch with him rapidly. How about Spencer Turley, who has had quite the up and down season, missed quite a few main events, missed last week, I believe, even, but now seems to have found a little bit extra, and he is in 3rd, although Rush Chapman closing up on him, but Chapman almost into the bales. Blakely also trying to keep close tabs. Got to keep an eye on Jeremy Smith. Oh, we lost Turley. I think he went over the corner after the whoops. And how about Fresquez on Mullins and then Reed Young? Look at this train of riders right here. Oh, Mullins is down. Mullins is down. Mitchell's going to go back through. Our points leaders are having a terrible night as Holm goes through, Warden goes through, and here comes Leclerc with the big line. He lands on Mullins. Oh my goodness gracious, Leclerc. Huge crash for both Mullins and Leclerc, and this is only going to ignite the fuel between them. Mullins is trying to get going without taking anybody out, and that causes Eaglin to get stacked up. Holy cow, that was a big crash. And now Mullins ends up behind Leclerc again. I mean, these guys are battling for 13th right now in the main event. Whew. It is all about to kick off. I don't want to go away from this because we saw chat letting us know that apparently Mullins got into Leclerc earlier, and in my opinion, I think Mullins is the faster rider here tonight, so this could turn into quite the situation here quickly, especially now with Leclerc getting into a couple riders in front of him. There's Jake Warden right in front of him. Oh, here's Mullins sending the jump, and oh, got into the back of Leclerc. I think you can tell he's mad. Mullins is not happy for getting landed on the way he just did. Break away from this for just a second, and we have a change for the lead again. Whelan is up front. This battle is almost not as good to watch, but I'll tell you, man, these guys are having a good fight up front because Klein now has Chapman closing down on him, and Chapman again is looking for another victory. Chapman missed a race earlier this year. He did not race round 8. I believe he raced last week at Atlanta. Yes, he did. So that was the only race this year that Chapman has entered in the North America Series that he has not won. And he makes a pass on Klein to move into second and has a real shot at winning Daytona, which is incredible. Colton Mitchell is working up to the back of Reed Young here. I believe this is for 5th. And he's going to try his inside line again. He's going to get it. So Colton Mitchell making moves and looking at potentially taking the championship lead. Turley swings the old wagon rear end around. Jeremy Smith. Oh, Leclerc out of shape. Fresquez, Simos, Warden, and Mullins. So Mullins has got to regroup here. He's not going to have the shot he wants to take on Leclerc unless he kind of settles down a little bit. And now Leclerc, of course, not sending the big line after that incident. So Leclerc getting away scot-free for the time being. Oh man, Chapman, 4 seconds is the gap to race leader Whelan, and it is coming down in a hurry. Chapman is railing. This is your battle for the lead. We're only halfway through this main event. This has been incredible so far. Your points leader is in 10th. There's drama between him and some other guys back there. There really is a potential for a change of the points lead tonight. It was only 7 points, and Mitchell, if he gets into 4th or 3rd and Leclerc stays somewhere where he is, that's going to change the points lead. Oh, Chapman down. And he will not lose a spot to Klein. How about this battle, though? Blakely and Mitchell getting together. Blakely's looked pretty good tonight despite having to go through the LCQ, but Mitchell is wanting to pick up those points. And he's going to get to the inside and make that pass. So picking up a couple more valuable championship points is Mitchell right there. But it could change in the blink of an eye if he has another crash here. Ooh, Blakely. Ooh. Ooh. Good save. Reed Young, then Adam Holm, then Jeremy Smith, then Spencer Turley, then Fresquez, then Leclerc, then Mullins. So Mullins and Leclerc. Got to keep an eye on that battle. I have talked extensively this year about Leclerc and his aggressive antics and how making enemies on this track is not going to help him win a championship. And we're starting to see this really take effect because he was really coming through the field pretty good until him and Mullins got together. And since then, it's been kind of hovering around 10th, dealing with all that chaos. So Leclerc trying to get around Fresquez. He is going to go for the big line and gets it. But, oh, I thought Fresquez was going to be able to square him off. Not able to do so. So Leclerc goes 3-3-4, gets away from Fresquez a little bit. Mullins is trying to close up. Let's take a quick peek at the lap times here, because Leclerc just did a good one, but Mullins, I think, trying to match him 1:11.8 to actually a 1:13.4. So Leclerc lost a little bit of time, and now Fresquez sends it down on him and gets into him. And here we go. Here's Mullins onto the back of Leclerc. Oh man, it's like grab your bag of popcorn because ding ding, round 2. This is going to be insane between these two. It was a little bit closer, and Leclerc kind of opened it back up, but Mullins got the whoop so good right there. He's going to be right on the back wheel of Leclerc, sends over the wall. Those lines about even. But here we go. Mullins has a run in the whoops. Leclerc is getting sketched down the inside. Lights them up. They're both down. They're both on the ground as Mullins takes out Leclerc and Fresquez goes through. They get up together again, and now I have got to imagine Leclerc is furious here. Let's see what he does to respond. Oh my, this is an intense championship scenario as your points leader and third in the championship are getting together, while second in the championship is scooting away near the front, getting more and more points. Woo! I knew we should have watched this battle, and it's not over because Leclerc, he's going to have the bit between his teeth now. He's going to want to try to get Mullins back. Intense action here at Daytona, round 10, MotoOption Supercross. And it is Mullins versus Leclerc in a position neither of them really want to be in. This is really just your battle for 10th, I believe. Now 11th, not even for the lead. Oh, Mullins lands off the side of the track. In order not to get cuts, he comes back on and grabs that timing gate, so he's going to lose a spot to Leclerc, but dare I say round 3, squaring up here. This is a clear indication of some of this bad blood boiling over a little bit between Mullins and Leclerc. I really thought Mullins had a chance to win this race tonight. Unfortunately, that start crash seems to have ruined his opportunity. We'll have to go back and see what exactly happened there on the start. I'll go ahead and replay that start after this main event is over so we get a chance to see for ourselves. But, wow. Meanwhile, Whelan is still leading this race, and he is just trying to stay away from this chaos that's happening behind him. Russ Chapman is still about 4 seconds back, so gains some time, lose some time. It's kind of a cat and mouse game. Klein was leading this race earlier on. He is a pretty distant third now. Talk about a distant fourth, though. Mitchell's got a lot of ground he needs to make up. Mitchell in fourth will pick up 19 points. Leclerc in 10th will pick up 13 points? Think so. So actually he will just barely hang on to the championship lead as they run, as I understand it. I think, no, actually he'd pick up 12 points. So maybe they'll leave tied? Yeah, so no, 13 points. Sorry, Devin Davis corrected me in chat. So yeah, as they run, Leclerc still leaves as the points leader by only 1. If they stay in this spot, though, I mean, Mitchell could still maybe get to Klein. It's a big ask, but it's possible. And Leclerc could still have some more problems. He's trying to square up Turley here. Turley riding pretty strong in this main event, but here's Leclerc down the inside. He takes Turley down. So Leclerc is having none of it right now. And Mullins got around Turley as well, so Mullins is still got some red eyes beaming through that helmet. He wants more Leclerc. Oof, Leclerc, some mistakes. He is not handling the ruts well, and Mullins is not handling the wall jump well. He's down again, so Fresquez, I saw, went back by. Turley goes back by. These guys are all kind of cutting the bales right there. They got to be careful with cuts. Mullins continues to have problems, so Leclerc might avoid future disaster at this point. But what is happening is his championship lead is going down, and it is a product of enemies on the racetrack. It's just, that's what happens. You know, I don't think Turley's going to be too happy about that move that Leclerc just pulled either, and the more enemies he has as this championship goes deeper, the less likely it is he's going to get around lappers easier, and the less likely it is he's going to get around anybody easier. He's known for getting good starts, so that helps, but so far Mitchell's made one enemy, and it's been Mullins, and everybody else he's raced mostly clean, whereas Leclerc has kind of been racing a tad aggressive with everybody, and it's starting to bite him a little bit. Oh, Turley down again. And meanwhile, our race leaders are going through all this chaos. They are lapping Jesse Mullins right now. So Whelan leading has Chapman right on him, and that's Fresquez that just went over the bars behind him. They have lapped Mullins. So this is your two race leaders, and Whelan has gone down. He goes down in the sand, and that just hands over Chapman the race lead. So Mullins unlaps himself from Whelan, but he's going to have to give that spot back. And he's going to have Whelan jump over top of him. Let's see, Mullins. Yeah, he's pulling off to the inside here. He's trying to give him the spot. There he goes. He's going to have to give the spot to Sean Klein, too, pretty quick. So Mullins, like I said, I really thought he could have won tonight. But this feud with Leclerc is taking it to another level. Mitchell is, well, nah, if he gets to Klein, it'll be because Klein makes a lot more mistakes. Meanwhile, Leclerc is all alone in 8th right now, so he'll get, I believe, 15 points out of this. Mitchell's going to get 19 points. Leclerc is going to get 15. That's going to close it down to 3 points as they run, although Leclerc could still get a couple more points. Yeah, the real unfortunate situation here as Mitchell went down, so that's going to about do it for his any opportunity he had at catching Klein. But the real unfortunate problem for Mullins is all of this drama has really kind of put a tough damper on his championship hopes, because he was 22 down on Leclerc, and if he could have won tonight with Leclerc finishing where he is, he would have gained a large chunk of that 22 points back. Instead, it is not looking too good for Mullins championship wise now, with just 7 rounds to go after this one. Meanwhile, up front, white flag has waved for race leader Russ Chapman. And Klein has Mullins right behind him, but a lap down. Mitchell's going to pick up a 4th, barring disaster at this point. How about Smith and Adam Holmes still having a good duel over 5th here? Seem to have been together all main event. Smith stays a little lower on the wall there, but Holmes hangs on to the spot. Thought that might have been Blakely closing up. It's actually Devin Ryan. Oh, Smith kind of biding his time here, using some different lines. Oh, they're catching Mitchell as well, so that could change. They're lapping Fresquez, who was in that battle for so long. In fact, he was in 3rd for quite a while, so that's incredible. But look at, they are catching Mitchell. Meanwhile, up front, Russ Chapman remains nearly perfect. He did not win the Triple Crown last week, but he wins this week at Daytona. Whelan, a nice 2nd place finish. Sean Klein is going to pick up his first career 450 podium with a nice ride in 3rd. And Mitchell is going to hold off on 3rd because Adam Holm just went down. And Adam Holm is going to get up right in front of Devin Ryan. But Jeremy Smith is coming. Oh, and Smith lands on Ryan, ends up off the track. I think Leclerc really badly wants to get to Blakely, but I think he's going to run out of time. Mullins, for what it's worth, ends up 10th. So he tried to get as many of those positions back as he could. He ended up about 7 seconds behind Turley. So unless there's some major cuts mixed in there, he's not going to get to him. And Leclerc is not going to get to Blakely by the looks of it. He tried, but Blakely is going to get to 7th. Great ride for Blakely tonight. And Leclerc is down, but fortunately for him, he was the last guy on the lead lap. So he will bring this thing home in 8th, and that championship lead has sliced right in half. Entering the night, it was 7. Now it's 3 leaving here. So confirmed Chapman with the victory. Whelan 2nd, Klein 3rd, and excuse me, Mitchell 4th. Holm 5th, Smith 6th, Blakely 7th, Leclerc 8th, Turley 9th, and Mullins 10th. Wow, that was quite the main event. And while I'm thinking about it, I am going to go ahead and watch this restart real quick. So let's go ahead and have a quick instant replay. We don't get to have these very often, but I would love to see what happened here. I know Turley was involved, so let's take a look from his perspective above here. We'll watch the start full speed at the beginning here, and then we'll go ahead and slow mode and see what actually happened so we can determine. Have a couple replays, and then we will head out for the night. But here's what happened on the start. You see Mullins is right next to Turley on the left, and the gate drops, and actually Ryan hits Turley. So just an idea there. We'll slow this down. Devin Ryan right there on the 34. He gets a good jump, but he's coming left. Puts the front wheel down, clips Turley's elbow. Turley goes left into Mullins, and Mullins then hits Leclerc and goes down. Mullins looked like he might have been able to ride out of that, but ends up on the deck. So that was really just kind of incidental contact with Ryan and all that stuff. Unfortunate for Mullins the way that turned out. Let's go ahead and go later in the race and take a look at what happened between Mullins and Leclerc the first time and then the second time, so we get a good recap of what happened here tonight. Let's see, where is Leclerc here? Already behind Mullins. So this is when Mullins was near the front early on. That is Mullins getting landed on by Leclerc, so I think this is actually already after the first incident between them. Where is Leclerc? Yeah, so something had already happened between these two. I was told Mullins put him over a berm, so it has to have happened somewhere in here. So Mullins gets around home. And here we go. This would be the first incident that we did not see on the live stream. Through the whoops, same exact spot. And yep, Mullins ran it in, put him over the berm, and Leclerc was able to ride out of it. So that's what happened the first time around. Just an instant replay for you guys. Mullins threw it down the inside. Really wasn't that bad because they came in pretty close to side by side, and Mullins just gave him a nudge, put him over the berm. And that was the first incident. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about that this week. The second incident came later. We saw Mullins have his issues. He crashed. He got landed on by Leclerc. That was that incident just then. Then he's trying to catch Leclerc here. Goes down again. Leclerc goes down with Fresquez, I believe, here. Coming up. One more lap later. So one lap later, not here, another lap later. This is it. So Mullins catching up to Leclerc, gets a drive in the whoops. Leclerc's making a ton of mistakes, and Mullins just tees him off. Bam! Huge crash between the two. Fresquez, of course, going by. But, I mean, that's pretty obvious. I don't think he'll get banned for it. He might get a warning for it, but he did not cut the bails. If he gets banned, I'll be surprised. But that was quite the takeout. Oy. And that is the kind of racing you get here on MotoOption Supercross. That is incredible. So that is tonight's racing in a nutshell. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it because I certainly did. Woo! So that'll do it for us here live on Start Your Systems. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We broke our record of viewer count this week. And incredible. Great night of racing. Championship much closer in the 450 class. A great win again in the 250 class for Haley. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means a ton. Want to give a huge shout again. Versus PC, bringing the broadcast to you, and Racetech Suspension also being a sponsor of SYS through the years. MotoOption Clothing, Racetech on board as well. MXS Servers, FamMX versus PC also on board with these guys. And then Squid Squad, new sponsor, helping out the whole MXS EMF crew. Put this thing on Daytona in the books. And what a wild one. We will catch you guys next week, same time, same place. I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. And I'm out. Kellen here on Start Your Systems saying we'll see you guys next week. Bye.